So I hope the screen is visible. So now I just imported this nice picture to tell you about we are going to discuss about principal component analysis. So that's fine. So coming to main agenda. So today I'll be talking about the steps involved in PCA. So we will be using the Python technique and we'll executing the Python command libraries to come up with the final set of features. So the first step is we do standardization of the data. Why we do standardization? The reason behind we want to bring our feature set with zero mean and one variance. So the logic behind it, if we don't do this, then what happens? What are the features which have high variance? They start dominating the other features. So that's where to stop this behavior and to make sure all features like in same variance range, we do standardization. Okay. So now the second step is obtain the eigenvectors and eigenvalues from the covariance matrix. So what is this covariance matrix and eigenvalue and eigenvector? I will explain in the second step. Third step is sort eigenvalues in descending order and choose the k eigenvectors. Fourth step is construct the projection matrix W from the selected k eigenvectors. And then of course, finally we'll be transforming the original dataset X via W to obtain a k-dimensional feature subspace Y. So we'll be going through all these 5 steps one by one. So let's start with importing some of the important libraries which we will be using in our this session. So first, the important one is import warnings. So here, why we are importing warnings, so that it should not give unnecessary warnings after executing each cell command. So that's where we do this thing. And then next is importing pandas as PD and importing NumPy as NP. So pandas and NumPy basically used for data manipulation. So we'll be using the data frame. So that will come from pandas and then NumPy for mathematical operations. Third library I used matplotlib.pyplot as PLT. So this will be used for the visualization purpose. And then from sklearn decomposition import PCA. So that's the main thing we are going to do in today's lecture. So in today's lecture, I'll be taking the IRIS dataset. So what IRIS dataset contains? So that's where I imported this beautiful picture. So in IRIS dataset, so IRIS is a plant. So we will be having a different variants of these plants. So this dataset contains 3 classes of 50 instances of each, where each class refers to a type of iris plant. Okay, and then the dataset will contain 4 columns. So that is the sepal width, sepal length, and then petal width and petal length. So that's where maybe if someone is not aware of what is petal and sepal is, so that's where this image is talking about. So this is called petal width and this is petal length, and then of course this is sepal width and sepal length. So this is a brief description about IRIS dataset. So let me start importing the dataset and creating a data frame and then starting the session. So this IRIS dataset is available in this URL. So I'm importing the dataset from this URL directly. And of course, giving header is equal to none. So by default, there won't be any column available. And separator is comma separated. And then I'll be creating some columns on top of that. So that is a sepal length, sepal width, petal length, and petal width. And the fifth one is the class. So which class, which type of plant this is. And of course, so today's agenda is mainly focused on principal component analysis. So I won't be going in deep null value removal or all these pre-processing. So that's where I'm quickly checking if there are any null values, then I'm just dropping them simply. So that is beyond the scope of today's class. So in another session, I will cover these things in detail. And then of course, I'll just see df.tail how the data set is looking like. So let me execute this cell and see how data looks like. So here you see I have printed the last 5 rows with the command df.tail. So here we have created the columns and then the target variable, that is the class variable which we want to predict. Okay, so now we have like last 5 rows, and then these are the feature values. So this is the sepal length, and then sepal width, then petal length and petal width. Okay, so this is our data set, how it is looking like. So it could be any data set where we want to apply the principal component analysis for the dimensionality reduction. So I have taken the data set which I have like only 4 column main features. So, but idea is like you will be using this when we have a large set of column, but the concept will remain same. So for your understanding purpose, to describe it in a very easy to understand way, I have chosen this data set, but the techniques library will be same. So the first step is like to segregate these the independent features and target column, that is the target variable, in the separate x and y variables. So in x I'll be having all the independent features, and y will be having this class variable. So this prediction. So let me execute this again and print. So you see, in X we have all these like length and width with the 4 set, like 5.1, 3.5, 1.4, 0.2. So they belong to one class, one type of plant. So these are the different rows basically. So each row represent one type of plant. Okay. So from here you can relate. So this is one row, this is another row. So in X we have only these independent features. And then similarly in Y, we have the class variable like a type of plant. So ultimately, when we will be applying this machine learning technique, so the idea is to predict what kind of, so we will be having this as an input, and we'll want to predict like what type of plant this features belongs to. Okay, so with this basic and description about the dataset, let me start with the first step, that is standardization. So when there are different scales used for measurement of the values of the features, then it is advisable to do the standardization to bring all the feature spaces with mean is equal to 0 and variance is equal to 1. So same thing I explained, the why we need a standardization. The idea is like if we don't do standardization, then there is a possibility like different features. Here feature I mean the different column. So different column values we may have different scales. So to bring them under the same scale, we do standardization so that the value which has higher scale should not dominate the values, the feature which has lower scale. So that is the main idea of doing the standardization. So, so let me show you the formula for standardization. So if we want to standardize the column X, so the formula is like xi minus mean of X divided by standard deviation of X. So what I representing the each row value, and X is the column value. So for column name X, we want to standardize the values. So this is the formula. So a statistical formula, but in we are going to use the direct libraries in Python. So let me show you how it will be done in Python. So for that we have a library standard scalar available from scalar.preprocessing. So we'll import that one and we'll use that one. So we'll declare a variable x underscore std, so which will store the standardized values of the features, and standard scalar dot fit transform. And if you will pass the x values, that is the independent features values, it will return you the standardized values of all the features. So here you see we have so it will be 4 set, like each row will have is 4 different values because we have 4 features, right? So first values, if we try to correlate from the original data set, like so this is the sepal length and sepal width, then petal length and petal width in standardized format. Okay, so these all x values are standardized now to have the mean is equal to 0 and variance is equal to 1. And this e to the power minus 0, 1 is nothing but it is a, you can think of 10 to the power minus 1. Okay, so minus 1, you will shift the decimal to 1 position to the left. If it is plus 1, you will shift the decimal 1 digit to the right. And e to the power plus 0, 0 means you do not need to do anything. It will, the value is like this one. Okay. So this is the very first step. We did the standardization. Of course, we'll do this with only for independent features, not for the target feature. The second step is like we go for eigen decomposition. That is the computation of eigenvectors and eigenvalues. So eigenvalues and eigenvectors can be calculated with the help of covariance matrix. So we can use a correlation matrix also, but I will be explaining with the help of a covariance matrix here. So that is the mostly used one. So the classic approach to PCA is to perform the eigen decomposition on the covariance matrix sigma, which is a D cross D matrix where each element represents the covariance between two features. And here D is the number of original dimensions of the dataset. In IRIS dataset, we have 4 features, hence covariance matrix will be of 4 cross 4. So the dimension of the covariance matrix will be equal to the D cross D, where D is the dimension or D is the number of features available in the original dataset. Okay, so here in our original IRIS dataset, we have 4 different features, that is a sepal length and width, petal length and width, 4 different features. So covariance matrix size will be 4 cross 4. So, and we have a formula to calculate that in math. So like if you want to calculate the covariance between X and Y, so here X and Y representing 2 different columns. So the formula will be sigma of Xi. I is representing each row value. So Xi minus X bar, that is the mean value of X column, multiplied by Yi minus Y bar. So Y is different column and I is the row and Y bar is the mean of that Y column, divided by N if we're talking about the population. And if we have taken some sample out of that population, we just do N minus 1. Okay, so we'll not talk about the derivation. So this is the just formula for time being, you can assume. And but anyway, we are not going to use this formula also. I just explain for your understanding purpose. Here we are using Python, so we will be using all the libraries available in Python. So I will import NumPy. So here NumPy will come. So there is a function called np.covariance, COV, and if you pass the standardized X value and row variance is equal to false, means we are going with column wise. Okay, we are calculating a variance with respect to column. So that's why np.co, you pass X standard and then you can. So let me execute this. Now we got the covariance matrix. And if you want to go and calculate with the help of this formula, then of course you can use these things. It will give you the same thing. Okay. So this is the covariance matrix. And now the next thing is like calculating the eigenvalues and eigenvectors with the help of the covariance matrix. So here we will be using the linear algebra concept to calculate the eigenvalues and eigenvectors. So but in Python again we have something very nice thing, that is NumPy. So np.covariance. If you so for eigenvalue calculation we need to transform the covariance matrix. So first let us transform. So np.co x standard.t. It will give you the transposed form of the covariance matrix. And then that transposed form, if you pass here in np.linear_algebra.eigen, then it will give you the set of eigenvalues and eigenvectors. Okay, so let me execute this. So here you see we have eigenvectors. So we have 4 cross 4, then we'll get 4 different set of eigenvectors and 4 different eigenvalues. So this eigenvalue corresponds to first eigenvector, and this eigenvalue corresponds to this eigenvector. Okay, likewise. So now in mathematics, we know the sum of square of all the eigenvectors is equal to 1. So we can go and verify whether calculated eigenvectors are the correct one or not. So that's where I have just written this formula. Not required, just for your understanding purpose if you want to verify. So let me quickly go through this also. So I have just written a for loop. So this is normal mathematics, nothing much. So in eigenvectors, whatever we have calculated here, so we'll iterate row by row, like one by one, and then we'll append after squaring them. Okay, so let me execute this and then explain to you. So print I, just for your understanding, in each iteration we are getting this thing, and then this append function, what it is doing the square and appending to the eigen, this array list. Okay, so ultimately you will get this kind of error. So in first array we have these values. So these are the nothing but the squared values of corresponding eigenvectors. And then this is the second set of eigenvectors. This is the third set of eigenvectors, of course with the squared values, and this is the fourth set of eigenvectors. Okay. So now, if you see here, like because I just took it from the output for understanding purpose, I kept it here. Okay. So and then if you just do like for EV some variable in eigenvectors, and then do np dot testing dot assert array almost equal 1 np dot, so it will return true. Okay. So that's where sum of squares of each values in an eigenvector is 1. Okay. So now what you can do, so that's fine. So let's, so this is just for verification. No need to give high attention on this one. So now we got, so we started with standardization. We calculated the covariance matrix. We calculated the eigenvectors. So now the third step is like selecting the principal component. So now we have with us eigenvalues and eigenvectors. So the next step is like to calculate the principal component. How we'll calculate? So the steps involved is like sort the eigenvalues and then check for the explained variance in each eigenvalue, and then select the top k eigenvalues which corresponds to the top k feature space. Okay, so how we do this? Let's see. So first we need to sort the eigenvalues. So how we'll do? We need to write some function. So here np helps. Np is nothing but numpy array. So np dot so let me explain you from right to left. Okay, that will be more meaningful. So we have a set of eigenvalues. So we calculated the length, and for I in range. Okay, so if we have 4 eigenvalues, then 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll go back from 1 to 4. So that's what we are doing here. Okay, from 1 to 4 for I, and then here in eigenvectors we are passing this I. So in first it will give you the first set of eigenvector, and in eigenvalues we are passing I, so it will return you the first set of eigenvalues. So here if you see we have first set of eigenvectors is this, and their corresponding eigenvalue is this. Second set of eigenvector is this one, and its corresponding eigenvalue is this one. Okay, so that's where we are just doing the combining it here. Okay, let me execute this. Okay, so now, so what here in this print statement is happening, we have combined eigenvalue, ith eigenvalue and ith eigenvector from this length. Okay, so that's where you see here this first eigenvalue and their corresponding eigenvectors. Then second eigenvalue, then their corresponding eigenvectors. Then third eigenvalue and their corresponding eigenvectors. Okay, so we have done this. And now in next thing, what we are going to do, sort the eigenvalue and eigenvectors tuple. So we'll do the sorting. Then eigenpairs dot sort and eigenpairs dot reverse. Okay. So that we want to sort from high to low value. That's where we apply reverse. So here, and then we printed eigenpairs. So what it will do, we have 2.930, 0.927, 0.14, 0.02. Okay, so we have sorted the eigenvalues in descending order. And then next we go for explained variance. So see, each eigenvalue corresponds with some of the each eigenvalue corresponds to each eigenvalue explained you the variance incorporated within it. Okay, so it is also the representation of how much variance is associated with that particular feature subspace. Okay, so with this we can come up with the explained variance. So after sorting the eigenpair, the next question is how many principal components are we going to choose for our new feature subspace. A useful measure is the so-called explained variance, which can be calculated from the eigenvalues. Okay, so now this is normal mathematics and then programming. So how we calculate the explained variance? We calculate the sum of the eigenvalues, that is the sum of these things, and then we'll use that one like eigenvalues, and so we will do the sorting. Same thing, we want to get these things, and then for each I in, means for each eigenvalue. So for I, first I will be 2.9, and then what will do, 2.9 divide by sum of these, total sum, and multiplied by 100. Okay, so it will give you the explained variance, the variance associated with each eigenvalue, and then cumulative variance, like let me execute and then explain. So here I'm printing the explained variance with respect to each eigenvalue. So that is, the first eigenvalue correspond to this much variance, second eigenvalue this much variance, third is this much, fourth is this one. Okay, and then cumulative means sum of first two, then sorry, cumulative first means first, then second cumulative means sum of these two, then third means sum of these three, like this. And if you sum all four, you will get of course 100. Okay, that is a cumulative variance. So that's where we are just summing up here. So just normal mathematics, nothing extra. And then of course, in next step, we want to calculate the percentage of variance the first two principal component contains. So if you sum these two, so that is a 95. Okay, the percentage will be the 95%. So this decision is ours. Like, see, ultimately our goal is to come up with the top K principal component, means top K feature space. So how we will decide top K? Based on the variance. So how much variance top K are having? If we are okay, we say okay, we'll go with 95% variance. Then how many feature service space contains the 95% of variance? Those many will include. Okay, so here we saw like our top two principal component contains 95% variance. Okay, and suppose if our need is to have more variance included, so we'll go with the third one also. Okay, so third, if we include 3, then it is 99% variance. Okay, but of course, as we keep on increasing more features, it will increase the computation complexity, because we are increasing more and more feature service space. So ultimately, idea is to reduce. So we will limit. Okay, we decide how much variance we want. So based on that, we decide how many feature service space we need to include. And then once we decide, okay, we'll go with the top two features of space, that is top two eigenvalue, then we construct the projection matrix from the selected K eigenvectors. How we will do? So like, so let me execute this also so that I can explain it easily. Okay, so so eigenpairs contains the eigenvalue, comma, the set of eigenvectors. So 0, 1, 2, 3. 4 sets are there, and each set contains in 0th location the eigenvalue, and then first location the eigenvectors. If you see here, yeah, this. So this is the contents of eigenpair, right? So 0th location eigenvalue and first location the array, that is the eigenvectors. So that's where we are interested in first two. So this will give you the first two set of eigenvectors. And then of course H stack array in sequence horizontally, what it will do, we are just transposing it. We are making it in column wise. So that's where we transpose it to column wise. So it becomes this one. And now we'll project. So what projection will do? So in projection, basically we calculated these two features of space, but now we want to transform our data with respect to these features of space. So in this last step, we will use the 4x2 dimensional projection matrix W to transform our samples onto the new subspace via the content equation y is equal to x into W. So x is our original subspace, and with dot operator matrix W. Okay, and then we start calculating the principal component. So what we will do, PD is coming as the object of pandas, PD dot data frame, data is equal to y, and columns will tell, like, because we have decided like we'll go with the top two principal component. So the principal component 1, principal component 2, we can give any name. Okay, so now data is y. So now if we print this, what it will do, it will ultimately give us the principal component. So our data is transformed in this new subspace with respect to two new principal component. So that is what has happened here. So we took the dot product to transform our original feature subspace, this x underscore std, to the new matrix. This matrix W is nothing but the this. So this contains our eigenvectors, right? So the eigenvector which we finalized with respect to the 95% of the variance. So now we got ultimately this. So now let's so here we don't have so yeah, one more thing let me tell you, like don't confuse this y with our target variable. This y is not the target variable, this is the outcome of this dot product. Okay, so this is our data set. So in this feature subspace we don't have the target variable y yet. So let me calculate the final set. So here, this also we included this species with this. How we did? We just used the pandas concatenate function. So pd dot concatenate principal df comma pd dot data frame y comma columns is equal to this. So y is nothing. So here, let me explain one by one. So principal df is coming from here. So this is the principal df. So this is nothing but this. This is the principal df comma pd dot data frame y. So here this is the small y. Okay, so this is the target variable in the very beginning when we split it, right? X standard and comma y. So y contains, so this contains the array of species, sorry, area of plant species list. Okay, plant type list, and then we call them species, and then x is equal to y. Okay, that's the column. So here now this becomes this final data set. So what ultimately we achieved? We achieved this. Like we had this original data set and now we transform to this data set. So the idea here to understand is like when we say dimensionality reduction, so we are reducing the dimensionality, but it doesn't mean like we simply come with we are doing something in backend and we are removing one of some of these dimensions. So it could be like we will left with sepal length and petal length, and we are removing this. This is not the idea. So dimensionality reduction means reduce the dimension and then transform this data set with respect to those new transformed dimensions. Those dimensions are nothing but the feature space. Okay, so then after transforming the whole data set, we end up with this. So you saw, right? We decided, okay, we'll go with 95% variance. So almost 95%, though we reduced the dimensions, but still we kept the 95% of the information of the original data set. We have lost only 5% information. That is the idea. Okay, that's how we reduce the principal component. So ultimately, this is what we got it. And now next step is like you can apply your machine learning algorithm, classification algorithm to classify them. So in this session, our goal was to come up with understand the principal component analysis and how this happens in backend. Okay, so of course I used different libraries and used each and explained each step. Like we started with standardization, we understood the covariance matrix, then we understood eigenvalue and eigenvectors, then we sorted based on the explained variance, then we transformed this eigenvectors to the new projection matrix we projected. Okay, and then we transform our data set with respect to the projection matrix, and we got this transformed feature space. So this is the final goal. And we have something called PCA in Python. Okay, sklearn. With PCA we can do all these things in only 2 steps. So what you need to do, you call PCA from sklearn and you pass how many components you want to get. Like you decide like ultimately how many components you want to keep, or you can give here the variance also. Variance is equal to 95%. That also you can give. Okay, so if you see here, so here we have like options to give multiple parameters like a number of components, copy weight, and total variance, all those things. Okay. So if you hover over this and do shift plus tab, then you will get the definition of this form. So let's do this. So with PCA, and then we pass the standardized features, and then we execute this. Then we execute this, and we got this. And this is the data same. Okay, and of course you can connect the species. Okay. So this is all about the today's session. If you have any doubt or any queries, of course, I have given the contact information in the description of the video. You can contact us, and of course, you're most welcome to write your queries in the comment section. I will reply all of them. Okay. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the session. Yeah, that's all. Bye. Thank you.